hear that? It's like the pulse of the street, a hole in the chest.
Yo, what is going on, my people? What is going on? I hope everybody's having a great day, having a great time, having a great week, and all that. I've been a little MIA around here and there, but because I've been super busy doing what I gotta do. But I want to introduce to y'all my special guest, from the West. You know what I mean? What's going on, Denise? What's up? What's popping?
What's up? All the way from California.
Exactly. It's not the East Coast is the best coast. Anyway,
Oh, stop. You guys have the rat coast. How about that? The trash
stop it.
coast.
Hey! You had
The
these
trash
mighty
one.
rats. No. So shout out to you. I want to give a huge shout out to everybody up in the chat. Don Omar, Danielle, Jazzy. Want to give a huge shout out to everybody listening right now. But today we're gonna talk and pretty much go into a very controversial topic, a topic that a lot of people either don't want to discuss, and when they do discuss it, people, some people get offended. You know what I mean? People get offended. They feel some type of way, and it's fine. It is what it is. But the way I see it is that we should start to be more more truth and unapologetic about our culture, and also about the people who represents our so-called ethnicity or race. You know what I mean? What you think about that, Denise?
Yeah, I think that look, before I even articulate the first word, I'm gonna say I have spoken about this before. I think here, right? Have I talked about this with you here on your podcast?
I don't know if you
Um,
have, but go ahead.
I have mentioned this issue at least a few times before. And people, you're absolutely right. People get absolutely triggered by it. But I will say that before, at least on my end, I can only speak for me. I don't know about Rap, but I'm guessing that he feels the same way. This is not a witch hunt. And I'm gonna say something because I should not have to do a disclaimer. I think we're grown enough to understand that what we're talking about is a social issue that needs to be addressed. But if you are triggered by this concept because it makes you feel upset or angry or ashamed, or you feel any type of way, I will appreciate if you just bounce out, because we're talking here like adults, and this is something that is real. It's not something that's being made up. And even if you disagree, if you can keep your cool, then you're welcome to stay. If you, during the course of our discussion, at least with me, instead of just discussing or this trying to disprove the points, you start attacking me, I'm not gonna respond. I will just act as if you did not even comment on it. But yes, I agree, it's something that needs to be addressed. It's something that needs to be brought up. It's a real problem. It's a danger to society, and it's damaging a community that we don't want to see extinct. But at the pace it's going, it might happen. So it's a problem that we need to discuss for sure.
Yeah. And I totally agree with the statement that you just said. If you're feeling triggered, or you too, I'm gonna just say pussy. To actually have a conversation and actually listen to what people are saying, then there's no reason for us to even. You could just like leave. You know what I mean? The unsubscribe button is right there. Now, with that being said, the reason why I decided to have this discussion is because I saw something on Fresh and Fit, right? That they had Charleston White on, and I didn't know who Charleston White was. I heard about him, but I didn't know who he was, and I was just pretty much listening to some of his other interviews, and I somewhat agree. So I want to play part of the interview that he had, and then we'll discuss it. And then me and you will probably go into stats and stuff like that. All right. So let's start with the interview first. Okay. Boom, beam. All right, bang.
The playground with a toy gun by himself and gets killed by the police. His 15-year-old sister run outside after seeing his 12-year-old brother gunned down. The police grab her, slam her on the ground, according to the footage of the video, put her in handcuffs and put her in the car.
Mhm.
Where was the outrage for that baby?
Yeah.
So here it is. We got George Floyd, who his last prison stint was for kicking in a woman's door.
Yep.
A black woman who was pregnant in the middle of the night, demanding where the money at, putting a gun to her belly, threatening to kill her and her baby if she don't give him the money, causing terror and fear to this woman.
News didn't say that though.
So here it is. We go burn down the country. We go tear up shit for this nigga instead of the baby.
Mm-hmm.
I was mad in the motherfucker at black people. I don't like Black Lives Matter because I don't believe in following nothing with 3 gay bitches. 3 bull dagger bitches can't lead nothing in my world. No, 3 lesbian hoes, she can't say nothing at the dinner table. Bitch, shut up. She can't talk at no family reunion I attend to. No, nowhere. So I'm saying Black Lives Matter don't say nothing when niggas kill niggas. Black Lives Matter only speak on gay issues and police shooting.
Facts.
And I'm telling black people in America that police shootings are the least of our problems in America.
That's true.
Police shooting a black man in America, an unarmed black man, is the least of our problem. We shouldn't even be worried about that.
If I make a dish,
All right,
I
hold
can
on,
make the next
real quick, because I could care less about this goddamn Asian commercial and all that. But so far, what do you think?
Well, I agree with him 100%. I'm surprised you did not know who Charleston White was.
No, I didn't. But wait, here he goes.
The police ain't shot now, nigga going to work. Police ain't shot now, nigga just dropped the baby off at the daycare going back home to cut the grass. The police ain't killed now, nigga in a pair of work boots. They ain't shot now, nigga with a high visibility vest on it like he do construction. He ain't shot now, nigga in a pair of coveralls with his pants pulled up. He ain't shot now, nigga with a tie on with hard bottom shoes, look like he's a banker.
Yep.
They ain't shot nobody that look like this.
Speaking facts.
And they actually shoot more white boys than anything.
That's true.
They actually shoot more white boys that's dealing with mental health issues than they shoot these niggas we crying about. So I feel like the country, or I feel like black people wasted this was they get out of jail free card that we should have been holding. They gave us this card since they freed us from slavery and civil rights.
Yeah.
We misused this.
On George Floyd.
It's like having a get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, whenever y'all decide to use this, we're gonna honor this.
Yeah.
We done used it and it's over with.
Yeah.
Us.
Bruh. Yeah. No, it's true. It's like getting $1 million and just spending it on stupid shit.
Yeah. It's
just buying a bunch of candy with it. Like, what the hell did I do?
We have forfeited our right for others to be compassionate or have any kind of understanding about our plights in America going forward.
Yeah. As you know, there was a shooting, not a shooting, excuse me, a couple black police officers, and I want to say it was Memphis. They ended up beating this kid. I think his name was Tyree, if I'm not mistaken. Rest in peace to him. But they ended up getting involved in an officer-involved situation where they ended up beating him, and he ended up dying through his injuries. What are your thoughts on that?
Shit, it ain't no different when 5 niggas kill each other.
It's true. Yeah.
Man, shit. This is what I'm saying. Police shootings, we should not be in an uproar about it. Okay? If nothing else,
Tyree Nichols. Sorry, guys.
If nothing else, this nigga family fit to get more money than they ever got before in their life.
Right.
That's make everything all right. When niggas kill niggas families don't get nothing. They got to beg to get insurance. They got to beg for a GoFundMe. All I'm saying is, nigga, 5 niggas killed this. If niggas is so mad, why won't they go do nothing to the police? If black people in this country is so fed up of police shooting, they ain't done nothing to the police.
Still walking free.
I'm just saying they ain't done nothing to the police. So what's the difference in us seeing those 5 police officers kill that nigga in Memphis and us watching them 5 niggas kill FBG Duck in Chicago? What's the difference? It's no different.
Yeah.
So I don't give a fuck about neither.
I'm gonna just pause it right there. So far, what are your thoughts?
I agree with him 1000%. Like I said, I think one problem that we have nowadays is that I don't know, I want to think that this is propaganda being pushed to people. But at the same time, every time that we use the cop-out, it's propaganda. Let me explain first, because I think people are going to get confused. But when I say propaganda, I feel like maybe there's a propaganda that probably we have been fed to the point that we think that the biggest problem in America is like murderous policing, which is a problem that I agree we should not have. Let me just put that out there, okay, before people come at me. Right. I think, murderous policing should not exist. However, is that the biggest problem we have? No, it is not.
No. I'll say no. Yeah.
It's not. The likelihood of you getting killed by police, it's slim to none. Okay. We have 800,000 police officers in America across every state. And we roughly see 1,500 deaths every year, roughly. Okay, so at the end of the day, no, I don't think it's the biggest problem because we have close to 40,000 homicides per year. So every time a police officer kills a person, 40 other people get killed. And a lot of people, I love how the media always says things like gun violence. I have a problem with that term because guns are not violent. Guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to brush off responsibility by just simply saying like, hey, no, it's the propaganda that we have been fed. And also it's very easy to shed responsibility to say gun violence, when in reality, we have to understand the person behind that gun is violent. And if we see many times the same complexion or the same group of people behind a gun killing people that look just like them, then what is the problem?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to shift my viewpoints somewhat, just a little bit, because things like this is kind of challenging some of my belief system, right?
Yeah.
Something like, for example, what he said right then and there, he said, what's the difference between a police officer, killing someone and 2 and 3 other dudes killing somebody that's also black as well? Why are you so mad about the police one? You know what I mean? Now I understand that police are given that duty by the citizens, right? Criminals are not given that duty by the citizens. Police is. But
that's when you're wrong though.
Wait, hold on, let me finish. But in the same time, we should not be getting mad at law enforcement We should be getting mad at the criminals that are making law enforcement do and act the certain way. You know what I mean? So, I to be completely honest, I'm like caught in the middle. I really am. I'm really caught in the middle. And the thing that Charleston White has said, I'm not disagreeing with. It's 100% true. You cannot get mad at police, but in the same damn time, be okay with your people killing your other people. You know what I'm saying? That there's no difference there. It's hypocrisy. That's what I see. But go ahead.
Well, this is my thing. Look, we want to have certain rights, and I think in this country it can be interpreted in many different ways. But like in this country, people want rights only when it's convenient. Okay, you're supposed to have the right to live your life. Regardless. Let's push bad policing to the side because there's also things we can talk about that. But everybody that is born has the right to live their lives until they die, either naturally or by disease, right? So when we say things like, that justify why certain people might kill other people, and we brush it off or say like, I don't know, when people try to like, make excuses for it and say, play with the whole concept of like freedoms or rights or whatever, like you always go to that because even the criminals, let's think for example, like how many times we've seen that criminals walk out on technicalities or like they won their rights enforced. A lot of people have fought for freedom, the right to be free, hence why we have the 13th and the 14th Amendment in the Constitution. But at the same time, do we respect the rights of people to live their lives? You get my point? So at the end of the day, it's so weird to me that being one group of people that fight so much for rights, yet you don't see them fighting for rights that actually matter a lot. As a matter of fact, I have a statistic that I want to show you. Let me share let me share my screen with you. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm gonna share my screen with you real quick. For a group of people that claim they care too much, which is why I always say, like, don't bring me like 200-year-old problems. Bring me problems of today, right?
Yeah. Okay. So this is annual gun death rates for children ages 1 through 18 by race and ethnicity. Okay.
Okay. So what do you see per capita? Which group, either black and white, I'm not including Hispanic, black and white, which kids died more from 1 to 18 on a gun-related incident?
Okay, so I think is that aqua or bluish?
The aqua is
boys.
Is boys, and the yellow is girls.
Girls. Okay. In the black one, it's a lot higher than the white one. Actually, it's can I say it's 3 times higher? No, actually, no. It's I'm gonna say it's 5 times higher.
Mm-hmm. It's five times higher.
Yeah, it's 5 times higher than the white one. So the gun deaths within black children from 1 through 18 is 5 times higher than the white deaths.
Yeah.
But in males, this isn't males. In females, it's only one time higher.
Also 5 times higher, because if you look at the white part, it's barely 1 per capita.
Yeah.
But as of 2020, the black girls is touching right on the 5 line. So it's 5 times. So a black kid, regardless of their gender, from 1 to 18 years old, is 5 times more likely to die than a white kid. And it's not because of natural causes or disease. It's because
just gun deaths, right?
Yes, it's gun related. So at the end of the day, when you evaluate these things, you ask yourself, do police kill children at that rate?
Children, I don't think so. I could probably say adults, but I don't think children. I don't know.
Yeah, at that rate, from children from 1 to 18, do they kill children at that rate? I've barely
I
seen
don't
that.
think so. No, I don't
You
think so.
know? So at the end of the day, we can say who will have more access to a child from 1 to 18?
Who has more access to a child? Females,
No, a child, boy or girl from 1 to 18.
females.
No, it all the family members.
Oh, family.
Yeah,
Family.
this family member, they have access to any child, boy or girl, from 1 to 18. So it's more likely, it has been proven that many Black folks die at the hands of people that look like them, and also that know each other. Okay, we're not talking just that a stranger that looks like, they're acquainted with their perpetrator. Okay, so you're not only killing people that looks like you're also killing people that you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so when people tell me, oh, it's a, because I've heard a lot of arguments. Like, for example, when I bring this up, there's a lot of people that would tell me, oh, it's poverty that creates this. Now, okay, let's take you at face value that I am broke, right? And do I get paid by killing people?
No.
So why is murder solving poverty? How?
Oh, just as just to play devil's advocate, murder is solving that person in between me getting my financial up income. So, for example, if I'm going to a store and the person doesn't want to give up the goods, I mean, blah blah. That's what murder, is justified. You know what I mean?
So it will be, you're basically saying that theft, okay, armed theft will be the reason why.
Wait, give me 1 minute. Hold on. We are going to talk about the Latino.
Oh, no, but hold on. Let's read his commentary.
We're talking about the black crime rate first.
Look what he said. He said, suppose we don't want to change it. What will be Latino's solution? I got it. Y'all can avoid us and live in another area and leave us alone altogether. Well, I'm going to say two things. Like, the first one is, when he says we, I would love to know who is we, because I don't think that a faceless, nameless account on YouTube speaks for 46 million people. I'm pretty sure Black people do not want to keep dying at the hands of other Black people. I'm 100% sure that they don't want to continue to feel scared of other Black people. Okay, let's just put that out there. I've never met a Black person in real life that tells me, oh yeah, I want other Black people to keep killing us. Yeah, I've never. Have you, Brad? Because I've never. Thank you. I'm pretty sure they don't want to die. So second of all, let's say that you are the speaker of all Black people and you guys are the minority of America, and you, quote unquote, this is an assumption, I'm not saying this is true, and y'all don't want to stop killing each other, making the country more dangerous than it should be. I think we should then come to a consensus by all the taxpayers in America, of course, excluding the ones that don't pay taxes, but all the taxpayers to come to a consensus on how to address your terrorism. Because when you have people killing more people than the soldiers that die in Afghanistan, 10 times more people than they die in 9/11, I see that as an act of terrorism. That's the same thing we talk about the KKK. They were a terrorist group. As a matter of fact, they were recognized as a terrorist group. So at the end of the day, if we keep seeing this type of violence, and like you claim, Mr. Faceless and Nameless, that you're the speaker of your community, and we keep seeing this, then I think taxpayers should come together and understand this is a threat. Whoever from that group that does not want to die at the hands of the violent ones should join the taxpayers on how to push you either to Guantanamo Bay like a terrorist or do something to address you like a terrorist. Does that clarify it for you?
Yes, it does. It clarifies. It
Yeah.
clarifies.
I'm like, I don't understand why sometimes people are like so like dumb. These are like simple issues, and like I said, if you get triggered, then avoid this channel. It's more easy for you to avoid this Latino platform rather because they're coming to a Latino platform to tell us to avoid their country.
Yeah.
Make that make sense. How about you avoid the Latino platform? It's easier and free. But let's continue. Let's continue.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, let's go.
So that's just one thing, right? It's just one thing. I'm gonna show you another statistic that I found that it's pretty disturbing as well, at least to me, right? Which is the firearm homicide rates in men by race. Okay, how many men in America are dying? And you're gonna see that we are at the same rate, almost at the same rate now in the 2020s. We're almost at the same rate we were back in the 90s. So, and I'm gonna say that right now, what I'm gonna say is extremely sensitive. So again, if you get triggered, head out. But I'm gonna say something. Rod, if you can share the screen that I'm sharing now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something that is going to be controversial and it's going to be triggering for a lot of people. But if in the 90s, Rod, and I want you to answer this question. If in the 90s we had all this homicide by firearm, right? Specifically killing Black males at a high rate. What happened after the 90s or during the 90s that dropped those homicides to levels never been seen before, that now in 2020 took a sharp uptick again? I will tell you what I think it did, even though people might think this is controversial. If we had a lot of homicides in the 90s and we had the 3 strikes and you're out crime bill, right?
Yeah.
All those people got incarcerated. America became safer for Black males. When we started protesting that and releasing violent criminals on the streets, many of them wanted to kill Black males. I don't know why. In the 2020s, when this happened, that's when it rose up. So can we conclude that maybe we were wrong when we said the 3 strikes and you're out thing was wrong?
Maybe
we were. That's something that probably
we should think about. Yeah,
we should because I'm not saying like there's no innocent Black people incarcerated. There are innocent people incarcerated, a lot. There are people that have incarcerations inflated 100%. But we have to understand that there are several layers of what I think is causing the violence problem in America. And we got to start by 2 things that I believe, in my opinion, are the problem. First is the fatherless homes. And people might say that is the women's problem, because I've heard it all. The fatherless issue is the woman's fault. But I think it's both people's fault, because if it was the woman's fault, we will have 100% of Black males married, right? to anybody else. We live in a country where you have women from all races incorporated. So if the women were the problem, then you will have 100% marriage rate from black males, right?
Yeah.
And when women say that males are the problem, then we will have 100% of black females married to anybody. Absolutely right, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's something inward that the black community has to start looking at. They were the most married during Jim Crow. Okay, they put any other race or ethnicity or group or community at shame by their marriage rate in the past. They were a staple of family
Yeah.
back in Jim Crow. How did they got here?
I will guess and say democratic laws. When you incentivize certain decisions and you incentivize uh you know unaccountability, and the government is going to take care of you, you're going to start to breed a certain population a little different with unaccountability.
But if you think about it, who is the most enrolled in welfare?
White people.
Well, exactly. So why are they not the most fatherless homes?
um I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know.
But you get my point.
I could
It's
guess.
it's something. It's something about. I believe that if you think about it, it's a psychological issue. And I'm gonna give my hypothesis. I could be wrong, but this is my hypothesis looking from the outside in. And I think, like I've mentioned before, even though some people got triggered, I think that it stems from, say, self-hatred. And the problem is that in America, black folks, if you evaluate the whole trajectory, of course, you have to see that their measurement, right? Like in any country, because other countries, for example, in my island, we're divided by economical status. So always the poor are going to compare themselves to the rich. So, and here in America, it's by race. So, of course, black people are always going to compare themselves to white people. That's never going to die unless we rebrand the country. And for that, we will need a revolution. Okay. So if you think about it, I compare myself, and that's the metric of success, to white people. So by doing that, I'm not trying to compare myself to who I was before or where I came from. I'm always comparing myself to the person that's next to me. Yeah. And if we learn something from social media and all these crazy ladies asking for Birkins from normal guys in order for them to be quote unquote cooperative with them for a wife, yeah, then we also have to understand that when black folks kept comparing themselves to white people, what happened in their brains, in my hypothesis, is a self-hatred for who they were, for their black identity.
Yeah, I got certain people like Yasmin saying that it's, she agrees with you, self-hate.
Yeah, it's the only thing that makes sense because if you think about it,
passport bros exist. Yeah. So people are agreeing with what you're saying.
Yeah, it's I think it's self-hatred because if you think so, psychologically, I have to devalue people that look like me in order for me to be able to kill them. Okay, that's how it has to be.
That's deep.
Yeah, I have to be able to do that. Like, why you think black on white crime is not as prevalent as black on black crime? Which is why, like, if you think about it, which is why I always tell white racist fuckers that they should not worry about black on black crime when it comes to safety. Okay, that's not something like if they analyze black on black crime when it comes to safety, white people should never have to use the argument because I think the people that should be scared of other black people should be black people, because at the end of the day, it's called black on black crime, not black on white.
Yeah.
So when people use when racist whites use that to justify their hatred or discrimination towards black people, and that they feel quote unquote scared, I will always remind them that black on black crime means that a black person is more likely to kill another black than anybody else. Therefore, black people should address black on black crime
Which
with
also
fear.
tells me one thing. If certain black people have the nerve and the and the how you say the balls to actually kill another black person because either they stepped on their shoes or they owe them money on all of this other stuff, where are these black people actually doing the same thing to the races that are, you know, messing up their people, the races who are killing their people, like George Zimmerman's still walking around, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I that's when I this is what I say, is that there's certain hypocrisy when it comes to certain people when they talk about, well, the gang members are there. Like, if y'all so gangster, how come George Zimmerman's still walking around?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
because they're not. Because at the end of the day, there's a certain respect, and I will prove it to you by this, right? Do you remember last year's the Oscars, where Will Smith had his moment, which is one moment because Will Smith, let's put it out there, right, has given us the good boy act for many years. He just had one bad day, right?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna ask you, if that was Jim Carrey, do you think he would have walked up in there and slapped him?
No. I don't
Why?
think. I think because one, Jim Carrey is not controlled by a woman. As you probably so eloquently said yesterday, controlled by the box.
Oh, stop.
But I don't think Jim Carrey is controlled by that. But also, Jim Carrey has
No. If Jim Carrey was Chris Rock, do you think Will Smith would have slapped him?
Oh, I wouldn't. I think so. Maybe. Yeah.
But let's keep it real.
I'm gonna
If
keep
that-
it real. I think he would, because I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, at that point, uh, even to this point, I don't even know what their issue is in their marriage, but
I
believe
highly doubt it. I highly doubt.
he's completely gone. So I think he would have done it.
I think he would have never. If that was Joe Rogan, do you think he would have slapped him?
That's different. No, I don't think so.
Oh, come on.
I don't think so. No.
You know, he would have never dared to do that.
Yeah.
He would have never dared to never slap Joe Rogan or Jim Carrey. He
Yeah.
would have never. And one thing, like, before you share that, I don't know if we're gonna talk about the murder rates for the people that don't understand, because they like, I love how people love to talk about white supremacy and blame everything on white supremacy, but if we go by the numbers, right?
Wait, if you want to talk about the murder rates, just hold on to the 1 minute,
Okay.
because I want to talk about the Latino gang crime and how it coincides with what you're talking about. So right here, it was a survey done by prison inmates, by prison. I'm not inmates. I'm sorry, by prisoners, from the year 1999 all the way to 2010, and they pretty much recorded the race ethnicity of gang members. Right,
Mhm.
Latinos made up 44% of all violent gang members and offenses. Black Americans made up only 35%. Even they were pretty much neck and neck, right?
Mhm.
Whites were 14, Asians were 5, others was 2%. And this pretty much goes down the list of what, you know, Latinos would do compared to Black Americans, and so on and so forth in the jail system, right? It goes it also breaks down certain from certain populations of large cities. So 32% of Latinos were incarcerated in large cities. In small cities, 26%. In suburban countries, only 25% of Latinos were incarcerated in large cities. So and this is just the stat for crime in the jail system. And we're not even talking about the crime outside. So, what my question to you? Why do you think Latinos are getting into like getting and joining these violent gangs? What's wrong with our community that these Latinos are doing that?
Fatherless families.
Mm,
That's literally what it is, because I've
mm,
said it many times. If your father is not in your home, you have no structure. And at some point, it's usually males which are the most aggressive. I don't know if you research human development, but at 2 years old, that's the most aggressive human. Okay, the most aggressive and violent human being are 2 years old.
mm,
Make no mistake, they cannot cause a lot of damage, of course, because of strength, but they're the most violent and the most aggressive. And the
mm,
reason why they are, it's called the terrible twos for a reason. The reason why they are the most violent and the most aggressive is because at that age, your character sets. And also at that age, you have no restrictions whatsoever on expressing your frustrations. It's up to your parents to regulate you and the factors of you socializing. So if, for example, you keep your child at home, and or you notice that he doesn't socialize as much, he's not going to get regulated as much. Therefore, he will continue to be a trouble kid. He will continue to be aggressive and violent.
right.
And also, if the mother is alone, because usually it's the father that's like, hey, no, stop, don't do this to me or whatever, he
Yeah.
becomes the authority at that age for the kid. So he measures his strength around that whole concept of the father. But if the father is not there, that those responses and impulses will set, especially for young boys, and it will continue throughout all of his life. And let alone come one of these gang members that
Yeah.
usually, if you analyze the gang member lifestyle, if you listen to people like Alex Trujillo, if you listen to all these former criminals that are reformed today, they will explain to you that the way gangs recruit is by making you feel like you're part of a family.
And
Okay.
I just feel like I was part of the family. Shout out to the like people.
They make you feel like they're your role model. They're going to do something for you and they're going to keep you protected. And every human being yearns for fatherly protection. I don't care if you're an alpha male, a beta male, a sigma male, red pill, whatever, you still yearn for that father protection because that's how humans are.
Yeah.
So when you get that from an OG on the street or somebody that, let's say you're 15 and this gang member is 21 and he claims he's going to protect you, and you're eventually they're going to start asking you for stuff, and you're going to find yourself into a gang, and you're going to have loyalty to that gang because they're giving you something you have never had. So that's the reason why in the Latino community and the Black community, we are seeing this phenomenon, especially in the US and especially in underdeveloped countries. As a matter of fact, we saw that a lot. The first criminal organizations that started their inception here in America, from Latin America in the form of a gang, come from Colombia. Colombia has a birth out of wedlock rate of 84%. That means that only 16 kids out of 100 are born to marriages. Does that make sense? Pablo Escobar had no father. Okay,
Mm,
I want people to understand that. Pablo Escobar had no father. His mother raised him.
mm.
Okay, that when he explained why he wanted to become the president of Colombia, which was his dream, and he tried to achieve it with contraband and selling drugs, is because his mother was walking him when he was 9 years old to school on a dirt road of Colombia, and he had no shoes.
Mm.
Okay, and he was that poor. So at the end of the day, the reason why males will engage in crime and become gang members is because gang members that are also from fatherless homes know how to engage with fatherless children.
Mm. Now, before we get into fatherless homes and certain incidences, I'm gonna play a DJ Vlad interview in a few, but real quickly, I wanna show this right here. This was a stat, pretty much nationwide, right, where they pretty much excluded Latinos from the population, and they wanted to see the violent crime rates of just Latinos alone. So as you can see, it says Hispanic or Latinos is 799,000, right? And
Mhm.
non-Hispanic and Latinos pretty much is black, white, Asian, and everybody in between. It's all 4 million, whatever. But this is some of the interesting things: murder and non legitimate manslaughter. Latinos still made up 1,000%. 1,000. I'm sorry, 1,000 cases out of 3,000. This is like comparing everybody else. So we
Have a third.
pretty much have a third, yeah, of a grape. We made up
That's
two
what we
thousand,
try. That's what we
and
try.
yeah, and they made up 7,000. In robbery, they beat us by they beat us by a mile. Damn, we couldn't get at least 10. We couldn't get 10, 18. We couldn't get
Oh
18.
my God! Stop.
But we lost in this one. Aggravated assault. We got 43,000 cases
More than
compared
a
to
third.
one that's 135,000 cases. This is where I start seeing the similarities. 24,000 cases of burglary compared to 96,000. We pretty much made a third. You know what I'm saying? So the more we go down, we start seeing that we're pretty much not neck and neck, but we're pretty much higher up there.
But you know
And
what I've noticed though?
what
We don't kill each other as much, but
we
we
don't
victimize each other a lot.
we don't kill each other as much because so the murder rates is not talking about Latino crime, is actually talking about other races that Latinos killed.
It's
Latino crime, it's I think it's actually lower than the black and black crime.
exactly it, but it's severely lower. My thing is, look at the stat. We don't
Uh,
kill each other as much, but we victimize each other a lot. Look at the grape, the robbery, the aggravated assault, the burglary. Look at all those rates.
yeah,
Okay, and make no mistake, I was a Trumper in 2016, and I supported the wall. I supported a lot of things, and the reason why is it. I think it's the whole migration and illegal migration is just as triggering for Latinos as black on black crime is to African Americans. But we
yeah,
got to understand. Yes, your tia might be coming through the wall and she's a nice old lady that makes you pozole. I get that. Bring tia over. But you have to understand that because of your tia, 15 MFers that are coming behind your tia are criminals. And we
yeah.
got to do something. So your tia will be collateral damage unless you save up money and bring her here legally.
Now, let me just bring up a story from DJ Vlad. This person is called Loca D, right? Right
Mhm.
here.
Oh, Dios
She,
mío.
hey, be quiet. She's a Puerto Rican, by the way. She was on
Ye-
She was on Vlad TV because she was a part of a gang. I forgot the name of the gang that she was a part of, but
I can tell.
hey, be quiet, shut up. I forgot what part, what gang she was a part of, but she ended up killing 2 Latin King members due to the fact that those Latin King members killed one of her friends that was not part of a gang, right? He was just
Oh,
collateral
what a
damage.
beautiful justification for death.
Yeah, yeah. So she ended up hooking up with two girls from the neighborhood that want to make a name for themselves, and she hooked up with two women that want to make a name for themselves. And they went and orchestrated the murder. Loca D is the only one that actually killed these 2 Latin King members and did whatever that she wanted, to do. Now, a little bit about her background, because I was hearing this interview, and I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy." I wish I actually could have an interview with her. By the way, so a little bit about her background. She grew up without her biological father, but she grew up with her stepdad. Her stepdad was a gang member. And the main there you go the maniac Latin disciples. Yeah. That's who she was part of. The maniac Latin disciples. So she grew up with her stepdad. Her stepdad didn't want her in that lifestyle, but she was around that lifestyle so much that she became curious and started becoming part of that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we got it. The maniac Latin disciples. Yeah, we got it. So she from Chicago. Yeah. This happened in Chicago, by the way. So
Why am I not surprised?
no, it happened in Chicago. So I wanna just play the interview again. You guys are gonna hear the interview. I can't play the visuals because Vlad is very good at striking people's things down. So I'm gonna let y'all listen to it, and we're gonna come right back because not for nothing, it's a crazy story. Shout out to her. But let's listen to this.
Okay, so here you are living this life, and 1992 rolls around. You're age 15 around this time. Now, you actually had moved out and you were completely living on your own.
Yeah,
How are you able to actually finance that?
selling drugs.
Okay, so you had your own apartment, you had your own car, and no one actually knew you were 15.
Nobody knew I was 15. None of the maniacs knew I was 15.
Did you feel by this time that you had a drug problem?
No, I mean, I was tooting cocaine and popping acid, but I controlled it. My mind level, I was thinking straight. I ain't bring no problems to the maniacs. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I stood my hood down, you know what I'm saying? I made sure everything was straight.
Okay, and then on May 10th, 1992, a friend of yours named Mudo,
And move the rest in peace.
he got killed by the Latin Kings.
Yes, he did.
Now, Mudo, was he a member of your gang or just a civilian?
He was just a kid in the neighborhood that the brothers felt. We all took turns taking him to school because he didn't like to ride the yellow bus. And he was deaf. So he was more embarrassed of the yellow bus. So we all took turns taking him to school. So he just used to always be seen in folks' car. So they made him a target.
So this was just a deaf kid that you guys were just kind of taking care of in your own way. And because of the proximity, the Latin Kings assumed that he was part of your gang.
Yeah,
How was he killed exactly?
he got shot in my car.
In your car?
Yeah, he got his brains blown out.
But you were not in the car at the time.
I was in the corner. I was actually working that night selling drugs. So that morning when it was time for me to take him to school, I was changing shifts. And he was in my car and he was excited because it was Mother's Day. And he wanted me to take and go buy his mom something. And he kept beeping the horn. And I was talking to my folks. So by the time I went to turn around, car had pulled up and blew his brains out.
How did you react when you saw that?
He saw nothing but fire.
Okay, so your friend gets killed and you go meet with his mother.
His mother ran out to the car. She felt it. She felt it. That's why I don't have kids, so I don't know. But they say a parent knows when something's wrong with their child. Because as soon as he was shot, she ran at the house screaming, and she ran to the car.
What was the conversation like with the mother at that point?
She wasn't trying to hear nothing. All I could do was promise her that I'd get and did it.
I want to pause it just real quick. So far, Denise, what do you think about what you're hearing?
Well, first of all, that's not enough justification to go around and kill people.
Okay.
I can understand her frustration and everything, but like, let's not forget, people. Look, have you noticed like how easily it is to trigger people that are involved in the rap industry or reggaeton industry when it comes to Latinos?
Yeah.
You want to know
It-
why it's so
It
easy
doesn't,
to
it
trigger
doesn't
them?
take, it doesn't take much. Yeah.
It's very easy to trigger people that are mentally unstable,
Yeah.
that are mentally unregulated. Like, if you, that's how you know someone is unstable. And trust me, I love triggering people.
Uh,
So yeah, because I mean, it depends. I wouldn't stop with stuff that matters, when like with stupid stuff.
Feminist, I just like,
But,
I'm like, okay.
but in all honesty, it takes very little to trigger a gang member to go ahead and kill other people. And that's the only thing they know. They know how to take lives, because regardless of the mistake those people made killing that other kid,
Yeah.
there's something that I'm pretty sure that her drug selling killed other people's kids, but she didn't care about that. And if they would have come for her and killed her, she would have said basically, I didn't deserve to die. How many
Yeah.
kids she took with her? So at the end of the day, she's not innocent either, but she feels so righteous, I'm sorry, to actually take somebody else's life without the concept of redemption, which is something we also lack in today's society.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep on. I'm gonna play it because I got, what was it? Actually, just 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes of it,
Go ahead.
and so we could just break it down. All right. So here it goes.
Okay, so you make a promise to Mudo's mother that you're going to avenge his death.
Definitely.
How did you know that a Latin king actually pulled the trigger?
They were throwing out their crowns and calling out, you know what I'm saying, disrespecting the maniacs. They drove right past us.
Okay, so you know it was the Latin kings, but did you know specifically who did it?
Not at that moment, no.
Okay, but the hood talks. So now word starts getting around and so forth. So what information did you start to get after that?
I actually got information not even from the hood. Information came from the police. Information came
Really?
from when they informed us that they had somebody in custody and that they was going to court, and then informed us when they was being rounded out. So it was never the hood that said anything. It was the police, the sheriffs in the county jail that was hitting my people, letting me know that they was being released.
Okay. So you're telling me that the actual sheriff was trying to fan the flames of this beef by letting you know that this guy who allegedly killed your friend is coming out of prison, out of jail. Actually.
Yeah, bonding out.
Bonding out. So you knew who did it and his name and everything else like that.
But at that point, I knew because he went to bond hearing. I was there.
Oh, you went to the actual bond hearing. What was it like being in the same room with the man who killed your friend?
I just wanted them dead.
Okay, so 2 days later, on May 12th, you went and got two girls from the disciples.
Yeah.
Muñeca?
Yeah.
Am I pronouncing it right?
Muñeca, you right.
Muñeca, aka Marilyn Mulero, age 22, who actually had two kids of her own.
Yep.
And Tootie,
Tootie, yep.
I don't know Tootie's first name.
Madeline
Madeline. What's her last name?
Mendoza.
Okay, so Tootie, aka Madeline Mendoza. How close were you to these two girls?
I wasn't close at all with them. They was just folks.
So I'm just gonna pause it right there. Pretty much they're gonna go into like how the murder occurred or whatever the case is. So basically that's the breakdown. Very good interview, guys. I really recommend you guys listen to it. Very, very, very good interview. Now, again, let's break this down. As we said, fatherless home. She had a stepdad that was a part of the Kings and stuff like that. She killed two other Latinos due to the gang violence and stuff, and also as as the 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 effect said, it was deep. She was deep in the drug game when when you selling drugs, talk about I worked the first shift. so, yeah, yeah. That's funny. No, but you can tell that she was deep into it. You know what I mean? So now let's break this down. How do you see this? Does this prove or disprove some of your theories on why certain individuals, especially Black and Latinos, commit crime?
Yeah, it proves my point. You said she had a stepdad that was also a Latin king, right?
Yeah.
He recruited her.
Well,
Do you seriously
he went
think?
to the no. He didn't recruit her, but he kind of somewhat showed her the lifestyle.
Oh
She
my
went to
God,
the
man!
opposing. She went to the opposing gang, the maniacs. He was a Latin king. She went to the opposing
Brad,
gang.
it
But still,
doesn't matter. He groomed her into that lifestyle. Do
okay.
you really think that a gang member wants his daughter, his blood daughter, that came out of him, that he raised, that he risked his life in that gang for her? Do you really think that he wants her on a gang?
No.
How many daughters of gang members turn out to be gang members?
I don't know the stats on
It's very
that,
rare.
but
Very rare. You
I've
might
heard.
see the son. You might see the son,
Yeah,
but a daughter,
usually the women get shielded from that.
yeah. Hmm. So it proves my point even further.
Mm,
Fatherless homes breed crime. And there's
mm,
also another aspect that comes also from that, because there's some kids nowadays and also in the 90s that uh, contributes to this. Even though a lot of people hate me for what I say, it's also the concept of music. I was
mm.
going to do a stream regarding this, but there was a song. I don't know if you guys listen to a lot of Residente, which is a Puerto Rican rapper. He did a song criticizing Coscuyuela back in 2005, I believe. It's called Adentro. Whenever you guys have a chance, listen to it, because it explains exactly what I'm saying here. We have in the 90s in the Black community the rise of gangster rap
Yeah.
with Death Row Records and everything that followed. And it's not a coincidence that in the 90s, Black male homicide rate was at its peak.
Mm,
Okay. Now, today, we have 68 rappers incarcerated for hefty crimes. So these motherfuckers are rapping about the crimes they commit. That's how the FBI and law enforcement is getting them. As a matter of fact, there are laws being fabricated right now in California to have rappers not being liable for the lyrics in which they incriminate themselves. Okay? Because a lot of them have rap about the stuff that they did. So when you have this if we go to the Latino spectrum, we have the narco corridos in Mexico talking about how they love to kill and massacre towns. And what do we see from these cartels? Same thing. When we have in Puerto Rico the rise of reggaeton, law enforcement had to launch a campaign against crime called Mano Dura contra el Crimen. There's a lot of projects that had to be imploded after being evacuated, of course, because the government did not know what else to do to minimize crime and gun violence because people were killing each other. And we think that this music has not influenced the minds of fatherless children. Well, it does. Hip hop needs to die. I've said it many times. It's time for us to bury hip hop. It's time for us to bury the fucking narco corridos. And it's time for us to bury reggaeton. If they're not going to sing about things that matter, it's time to let it go because it's shaping the minds of the youth. There's a song I've listened to a lot of gangster rap in Spanish and in English. And there's a song that I like very much, but I know that song it's about a gun, a semi-automatic gun that's altered. And it's basically saying, and it's a song in Spanish, like, don't make me use this gun on you. Okay, and it's a glorifying violence.
Warning, plomo,
Yeah, and you think about it, these kids that come from fatherless homes that have no role model, they will copy these rappers because the rapper looks like me, and he has money, and he has girls, and he has mansion, and he has what I don't have, which is power. And there's not a human being that does not want power.
Daniel says something about Mexico. He goes, in Mexico, you can't play narcos because in any public venue, the singer, musicians, they owner of the venue also will be arrested and fined.
Yeah, because it promotes this lifestyle and this disgusting things that happen.
FBA, I like gangster rap too, but drill, nah. Drill music, it's not. Nah, that is killing people, bro. Drill music is really killing people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These people are arrested for a reason. Listen, I love gangster rap just as much as anybody else, but we gotta understand, gangster rap is shaping the minds of fatherless children. That's what did not existed during Jim Crow. That's exactly what did not existed.
You want me to put what you got up on the screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
And again, this is triggering for some, of course, because there's a lot of people that love to talk about white supremacy and whatever, but white supremacy from 1877 to 1950, okay, which is the Reconstruction violence, aka the KKK, killed 4,400 Black people, lynched unfairly.
I probably would say I probably will add on maybe 2,000 more who weren't documented, but no, okay.
No,
it says
let's say that he killed 5,000.
Okay, yeah, let's say 5,000.
Because at first there were only 2,000 that were documented. These are the ones documented by Black people that contributed to those documentations. It's 4,400.
Okay.
How many Black bodies do you think are produced in a year by Black crime?
In a year, I'll probably say altogether, I'm a guesstimate. I'm gonna say maybe 100.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
We're gonna go per capita.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Nah, drill is not gangster rap, bro. Hold on, wait. Drill is not gangster rap. That's a new form of gangster rap, bro. Nah, I'm talking about I'm talking about other gangster rap. Like drill is not no gangster rap. That's disrespectful rap, bro. Them little kids is fucking killing each other. You know.
Okay. So we have per capita, which
Huh.
is every 100,000, right?
Okay.
Every
So
100,000.
let me just break this down for the people. Red is black, right? Brown is Native American. Right under brown is yellow, which is Hispanic, which is Latino, basically. And white is blue, and green is Asian. So Asian and white are pretty much. Sorry about that, guys. It's pretty much close. In Native and Hispanic, we're pretty much neck and neck.
Yeah.
But black is all the way up there.
And
Okay.
make no mistake, before people say, "Oh, like some of them are counted as white," no, it says down there, Hispanics are counted solely in the Hispanic ethnicity category, regardless of race.
Wait, hold on. We got a comment by Truth Teacher, which I think raises a good point. Shout out to Truth Teacher. He says, "Can we acknowledge the fact that there are corporate machines behind the music, and executives are not us?"
That's a cop
Does-
out. That's a cop out, through T-shirt.
You think that's a cop out?
That's a cop out, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Break it down. Why you say it's a cop
I'm
out?
gonna tell you why it's a cop out. Because, and it's coming from a sound engineer. Come on, that's a cop out. If every black person that raps, if every Latino that raps decides to not produce gangster rap, gangster reggaeton, or nothing related to violence, who's gonna make them? Who's gonna force them to do that?
Feminism. No.
And another one. Who owned, before white people got on the train? Who owned gangster rap in the 90s?
Mexicans.
Stop. Who owned violent reggaeton in its inception before the white executives?
Who? I don't know who owned it.
Black people and Latino people.
Oh, for real? Okay,
Yeah, we own our own music. Gangster rap didn't came from white people. Gangster rap was produced from every group that produces till this day gangster rap. We decided to go with white people because our own groups of people were scamming us.
Okay.
That's what happened. We didn't love each other enough to not scam us. Okay? Because if that's the case, don't we have today? Jay-Z has a record label, right? Isn't Rock Nation a record label? Then why these rappers don't sign all of them on Rock Nation so they don't get brutalized by the quote unquote music producing industry and they can produce non-gangster rap? You get my point? It exists.
I get it.
Black owned. And you don't only have Rock Nation, you have plenty. You have plenty. Dr. Dre is still alive. Okay, he's still producing music. So at the end of the day, that's a cop out to me. But let's go back to same thing goes for the Latinos. You know, the people that the rappers that are doing gangster rap are doing it for money and because they know that that is something that will make the youth feel empowered, even if it's fake power or momentary power. And they don't care that these people kill each other, even though it's people that look like them. Because at the end of the day, we must understand that the Black community is a fallacy and it doesn't exist. It just doesn't.
Okay.
And that's a topic for another day. But if we go back to what I was saying about the whole per capita situation, if we're going to count this, there's 46 million African Americans in America.
Wait, real quick. No, I'm not gonna let nobody into the stream, because it's gonna. I'm about to start wrapping it up soon. I'm not gonna let nobody in the stream. If you guys want to come up in the stream, y'all could have just let me know. But it's a close stream today. I'm about to start wrapping it up. But go ahead, Denise.
So there's 46 million Black Americans in the U.S. That means there's 460,000 groups per capita, right? So if we divide deaths per capita, that means that every 100,000 people, every 100,000 Black Americans, 30 die. If we multiply that by the Black population, that means that every year,
Yeah.
I'm doing the calculations right now.
Yeah, me too.
That means that every year, 13,800 Black Americans die because of killing each other. Now, that is more than double what the KKK killed in their whole Reconstruction era.
Yeah, you said 4,000, right?
4,400.
Comparing that 4,000 to what you said, 13?
13,800 in just
Jesus.
1 year.
Jesus. Española said, for the record, gangster rap was created outside of New York City, which is true. Places like Philly, Chicago, and LA. Okay.
It doesn't matter where it was created. What matters is where it's adopted.
Yeah, it happened. So let me ask you before I start wrapping it up. Let me ask you, how do you think this situation should be solved? Do you think more people should come together and have a discussion? Do you think that we need to at least put more resources in the community, or actually tell these women to stop with the getting laid up with like 20 different dudes and actually have some accountability for yourself? Like, what do you think the solution should be?
I think there's two things that should be done. One of them is that in every school in the ghetto, there should be at least 4 different types of mental health specialists, from kindergarten all the way till they're 18. And it should be mandatory, compulsory. Okay. Also, mental health needs to be an elective class. That's also mandatory.
Okay.
And aside from that, to collect extra credits, that should be mandatory. And also for adults, there should be homicide prevention centers in every community. They are needed because adults need also access to therapy. They need to have access to relinquish guns safely, and they need a resource or outsource center where they can reach out law enforcement without having the fear that someone's gonna come for them.
Well, let me just say something. But how is that wrong? Y'all should live far away from us, please. That's the solution for y'all. If those are solutions, why you want to exclude that from
this
the Black
person?
community?
This is a person that clearly hates Black people.
Yeah,
that's it. And I'm starting to think that's either a white person that's a troll, or it's a slow tip, because no Black person that loves Black people talks like that.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Like, how is a solution for Black folks something? Oh, that's y'all shit. What?
Look at what the teacher said. Denise didn't have a father. That's why she kills Coquille. That's hilarious.
Because the kids I was dealing with,
it's true.
Oh, look what he said. Because he used to be a former teacher. Yeah, because the kids I was dealing with were messed up from kindergarten. Wow.
Absolutely. We're having children that are born with mental conditions. My mother in my family, there's 11 educators, and I can tell you from what I hear at family gatherings and stuff You have kindergarten children with psychosis already.
Really?
Yes, they are born with pathologies, mental pathologies that are severe. You know, there was one day when I went visit my mom at school,
Especially
and there
them.
was
You know what I
one
mean? Those are the
second
best
grader.
to you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, fellas? If you want a woman with low self-esteem but a little crazy, you know what I
Oh
mean?
my God, stop.
Go ahead.
Look, there was a second grader that she was given her class, and the accommodation was that she had to have. I will never forget his name. His name was Chris, and she had to sit him down in the very far end from the classroom. And meanwhile, she was educating all of the kids. Chris was fake shooting at her throughout the whole class.
Oh wow.
So at the end of the day, when you think about it, these children are born to mothers that have consumed narcotics, fathers that have consumed narcotics, people that are not taking care of themselves, and also have poor mental health. So, what characters, like we spoke before, child, like human development establishes that your character is formed at 2 years old and it can only be modified until you're 10.
Mm.
So by the time that you reach a child at 18, when he's an adult, that character is set in stone. There's not a lot that can be done. But if you intervene in kindergarten all the way till he's 18, you might have a chance. And it's like I expressed to you before, easily triggered people have poor emotional health because you words should never trigger you. Never, under any circumstance, spoken words should never trigger you. The only time where aggressive or violent responses are awarded is when your life or the life of your family is in danger, imminent danger. Words should not equal that. And when we have a society that lives like this and makes other walk on eggshells for fear of their lives, you know that we're dealing with a group of people that never addresses their mental health. And who's right there with them? Us, because we believe as Latinos that mental health access is mumbo jumbo and we should just
That is
pray
true.
or keep it moving. We
That is
know that.
we believe in prayer way more than just some actual help. I wanna give a huge shout out to Don. He says, "I know I got PTSD. It's called the Bronx." That's actually true. That's
Yeah,
actually
it's
true.
I
But
think those two things are needed, right? We need a homicide prevention centers,
yeah,
and they need to be in every ghetto in America.
yeah.
And we also need at least one behavioral therapist, one counselor,
What you
one
mean?
psychologist, and one psychiatrist in
I
every
behave.
school.
I behave just fine.
Oh, stop.
No.
Seriously,
But
that's what we
but
need.
but listen, I completely agree with you, and 100%, I'm down with that. Hopefully, during the future, we could probably make that happen. So, with that being said, do you want to add anything before we leave?
Well, only that, take what we have said here, um, and take it, take your time to analyze what we have spoken about here and try to picture if it's something that individually you need to start changing your beliefs. And before we leave, I'm going to say something. If you're unable to check your belief system and change it from time to time for things that aren't, and it's something I learned in therapy myself, things that no longer help you out, like are not working. If you're unable to do that, then you need to literally right now shut off YouTube and call a psychiatrist right now.
You hear that, Zachariah?
He's gonna clap back at you.
Oh, he finally blocked me on Twitter.
He's gonna, but don't break a nail, Paul.
He finally blocked me on Twitter. He's probably like loving life in the little like imaginary gay orgy that he's having.
Oh, one more thing that I would say.
Yeah.
Parents,
You
parents,
gotta be in your
I'm
kids' life.
begging y'all, please stop giving children freaking electronic devices. They should have access to that when they're 21 or when they can purchase it themselves. And it should be under your supervision. Stop giving them access to that. Let them play outside and have friends and teach them conflict resolution. We need that ASAP.
Yeah. So with that being said, I'm gonna catch everybody later. All right. Peace.